Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have another video. This time we are going to look at how do you charge lithium iron phosphate or lithium ion cells or even the lead acid using these sort of buck converters. So what I'm doing is I'm actually showing it to you how you could use these sort of buck and boost converters to charge lithium iron phosphate batteries. Now guys, working with electricity is pretty dangerous. Make sure that you know what you're doing before you put your hands onto it. Now we would generally use these sort of lithium iron cells or these sort of lithium iron prismatic cells to build battery packs. So we are going to use these sort of buck converters to charge the cells, or we can also charge our 12 volt batteries using these sort of buck or boost converters. Not just the 12 volt as well, we can also go up to 36 volt or whatever your supply is. We are going to also charge the battery. It's a 24 volt battery that we made. This is a lithium iron phosphate battery with 100 amp BMS, so we'll also be charging that. Now if you need these sort of cells, I'll leave a link in the description below. That's the website which will be there in the details. You could go check that out. You could buy it from there. If you need to know how you build the battery packs, I'll leave a video on the top. Go check that out. It's pretty simple. Now let's talk about these modules. The first module that I'm holding is a buck converter. This is a 8 amp buck converter. The maximum current that it could deliver is 8 amp. So it has few inductors, capacitors and all that. So the first one is the input end, and you have a heatsink for the MOSFETs, and you have two potentiometers at the end for controlling the voltage as well as the input. Now each end I have connected the XC60 connector for easier connection between batteries and to the power supply. Now the other one is actually a 20 amp, and the one that I'm holding right now is a boost converter. This is a pretty beefy 1200 watt boost converter. This is a step up device, whereas buck are normally step down. This is a step up. So it has the input end, and you have a potentiometer to control the current, and besides that you have a fuse, and then you have an inductor. Besides that you have a potentiometer to control the current. That's the voltage controller, and that's the output end. So this one actually works from 10 to 60 volt. I think you can boost it up to 80 volt if you want. That's pretty neat. So let's keep all this aside. Now we have all the circuit. Now how do we power this is by using these sort of SMPS. The one that I'm holding in the hand is a 12 volt SMPS, but the output only comes to around 9.53, and the other one is the Morrison 24 volt SMPS. If you're into a market of an SMPS, I would suggest you to get this Morrison one. It's pretty good, pretty neat, works nice. So let's talk about when do we normally use different voltage ranges. So we'll talk about that. So but before that, let me show you what the output voltage of each of these SMPS are. I have my multimeter connected. The first SMPS is actually a 12 volt, but the output is only around 9.53. That's what I get. And the next one is a Morrison SMPS. It's 24 volt. You have a potentiometer where you could increase it. So right now the voltage is around 27.9. So this is a buck converter. This is a step down converter. So what we are going to do is we are going to connect it to a 9 volt supply here, which is my another SMPS, connecting it to the XT connectors. You can also get this XC60 connectors from the website if you want. So now I have connected the buck converter to SMPS. Now let me show you what the output voltage is. If you see, the output voltage is set to 3.64. That's normally the top balance range for the lithium iron phosphate cells. Now if you want to increase the voltage or decrease it further down, you have a potentiometer which you could turn clockwise or anti-clockwise, deciding what exactly you want to do. If you turn it clockwise, the voltage rises. If you turn it anti-clockwise, the voltage decreases, which I'm doing it now. So I could bring it up to 4, 5 or whatever it is, but it cannot be more than the input voltage, because It's a step down converter. So let's set it back to 3.65 and let's top balance our prismatic cell. So that's the output end. So I did make a small wire for that as well with ring terminals. That will be easier for me to connect it. So I'm going to top balance this prismatic cell. I'm just going to use a normal bolt here to screw it in. That's the positive end. Now let's connect the negative side as well. So we have now connected the negative side. Now let me show you what the current that is going from the buck converter to the battery. So we almost have close to 9 amps going into the battery. The buck converter can go up to 15, but the maximum that I have seen is around 10 or 11. So that's the maximum it will go. And then this is a constant current, constant voltage. So as soon as the voltage is reached by the battery, there's no more current flowing to the battery. Now, another thing is that when you use these sort of buck converters, right, these tend to get hot. The heat sinks get quite hot. You need proper heat dissipation. So what I do is I normally use these fans. I connect it to 12 volt supply and then I charge it and turn it on, so that the proper airflow dissipates the heat from the heatsink easily, and the buck converter lasts a long time. So that is something that you could do. So this is about top balancing the prismatic cells. Now, if you're using these sort of buck converters to charge a prismatic cell, one of the buck converter might not be sufficient to charge all the cells. So what you could do is you could add multiple buck converters. You have 3 outputs from the SMPS, right? So you could add another buck converter, add it to another battery. You could do that. You could multiply, or rather add cells or buck converters in parallel for charging different cells. And I'll be making up a video using these sort of prismatic cells. A video will be out shortly. Do stay tuned to my channel. So let's unplug everything. So now let's learn how to charge this 12 volt battery pack. I'm using another buck converter here. Now there are 2 ways of doing it: using a boost converter to boost the voltage, or using a higher voltage SMPS and use a buck converter to step down the voltage. But I'll be using a higher voltage to step down the voltage using a buck converter, because that's much better. So let's charge this 12 volt battery pack. And if you need these sort of battery pack, guys, do let me know. You could put a requirement there on our website. I'll be able to hook it up for you. Now, as soon as I connected, the blue LED indicator turns on, and if you see, the output voltage should be set at 14.4. Now 14.4 is pretty high, so what I'll do is I'll reduce it to, like, say 14.2. The similar process, use the potentiometer to turn it clockwise or anti-clockwise. So now I have reduced it. Now just directly connect it. So as soon as you connect it, the indicator turns to red, indicating that the current is flowing to the battery. As soon as the battery is fully charged, right, the indicator turns back to blue. So let me show you what the ampere that's going in. So if you see, we almost have around 4 amps going to the battery. So guys, this multimeter is pretty useful. You could certainly get that. And making sure that whenever you connect these sort of buck converters or boost converters, always use an inline fuse as well. That is something that you might want to keep in mind. So now let's charge this 24 volt battery pack. Now we can't use this battery pack to charge. We can't actually use the normal buck converters, because the 24 volt power supply is not sufficient to charge the battery. So I need at least 29 volt to charge this battery. So that is where we'll be using this boost converter to boost the voltage and then charge it. You guys always remember that whenever you use boost converters, right, you have an option to control the current. Because if you don't have an option of controlling the current, and if you try charging lithium batteries, it'll actually blow up the MOSFET. What happens is that the battery would keep drawing more current than what the converters can provide. So make sure that you have a controlled current option available on the boost or buck converter. Don't just directly connect it because it will spoil the buck converters. So now let's connect the boost converter to the SMPS. Guys, once again guys, playing with electricity is dangerous. Make sure what you're doing is you're knowledgeable on what you're doing is something which is dangerous. Just remember that. So if you see, the input voltage is around 27 volt and the output is around 28. So let's increase it to 29. So you see a potentiometer at the bottom right side. You just have to turn that clockwise to increase the voltage. So I have increased the voltage to 29.12. Now let's connect it to the battery. So let's keep all that aside, and guys, if you need these sort of connectors, it's there on our website. You could go check that out. And I'm using an alligator clip to just hold the terminals together for now. Now I'm also connecting the multimeter. So there's no amps going to the battery. As soon as I connect this in, you should see a increase in current. So almost 11 amp is going to the battery. So this is how you easily charge using the buck converters. We can also reduce the amp if you want. If you see, I'm slowly reducing the amp. So guys, this is how you build a small charger for yourself. Pretty simple, pretty neat, and make sure that you know what you're doing. And if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or suggestions, do leave it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned.